Hey, Rad Parade Chicago, it's Gary, your rad boss. I'm back with Yvette, your rad coach, for our next installment in our video series. Thank you so much for a great training ride last Saturday. You were amazing. We had great weather, great turnout. All of you showed up at 7:30 promptly so we could get on the road by 8. You had your tires pumped, you had your water bottles filled up, you'd eaten breakfast, and most importantly, you checked in with crew and got your cue sheets. Yvette's going to talk to you a little bit more about the importance of those cue sheets right now.
Perfect, Gary, thanks a lot. So, as you show up at 7:30, everybody did a great job doing that last week. Want to see that again this week. As you check in with crew, you want to grab that cue sheet. Now, when you grab the cue sheet, I don't want you to just stick it in your pocket and forget about it. One of the things I do is I've got a little cue sheet clip that I use, so my cue sheet is handy. It's right there on the front of my bike. You can use a binder clip, a piece of tape. You can put it inside a
Plastic bag?
like a plastic bag,
Yeah.
and tape it onto your brake cable or right onto your handlebar, and then your cue sheet is out there to the ready. Now, the reason why we really emphasize the cue sheets is because that's your map of where you're going to go. And if you're just relying on the person in front of you, they may be taking a wrong turn or an unsafe turn, and you're going to go right along with them. The other issue is we've got 100 or 200 miles to ride. Now, last week was a great practice, about 24 and 30 miles. But can you imagine all the turns that you're going to have to make over 100 or 200 miles? So it's time to practice now, so that when we get out there on the road in July, we know how to maintain visual contact with the road, check in with the cue sheet, have a good idea for where you're going. Now, if you're riding in a pack, you can take turns on the cue sheets. 2 or 3 people can step up and say that they've got it for 5 miles at a time, and it can rotate throughout the pack so that everybody's checking in on the cue sheet. You're doing a rotation, so you've got people spotting for obstacles on the road and also checking in on that cue sheet where you want to go. Now, one more thing on that cue sheet. That cue sheet is the route that the crew is going to follow. So if you deviate from the cue sheet, crew is not going to be able to find you if you have an issue. So, follow that cue sheet. I know that we all have our special routes that we like to go to, a house that we like to drive by, but if it's not on the cue sheet, save that for your own ride. That way the crew can be there for you in an event of emergency, and we're not pulling crew away from the rest of the riders.
That's perfect, Yvette. Cool. So our training rides are, the most important part of getting you road ready. And we've got a really great training plan for you set up this year. We started out last weekend with our 24 and 30 mile ride, but we've got a whole scale up plan as we go through the rest of the season, and Yvette's going to walk you through that too.
Thanks, Gary. So we started out at 24 and 30 miles, and we're going to build you up week after week to get you ready, adding about 10 miles at a time throughout the week so that you're comfortable riding 80 miles at a time. So we've also thrown in some back-to-back rides in there. We've got 2 opportunities for that. We have a Barrington Hills ride to practice hills, and we also have 2 80-mile training days. Now, not everyone might be able to make both training rides, but when you look at the schedule, try to make arrangements to hit at least one of those 80s, because it'll give you a lot of confidence, and you'll know that you're ready to take on that 100.
Cool. And last but not least, if you're not able to make any of our Saturday rides, I know some of you have different schedules, definitely take advantage of Windy City Cycling Club. They're helping us out on Sundays with pickup rides, leaving from Foster Street Beach all the way up into, along our route, a little bit different, up towards Fort Sheridan. So definitely take advantage of that. They're wonderful, and thank you, Windy City, for helping us out.
Thanks a lot, Windy City.
Cool. All right, we'll be back next week with more videos.